I was just thinking how lucky it is that our listeners don't have to listen to the nice lady's voice tell us that the recording's on the way every time we press record.
Except now you've just told them about it and they've just tuned into the next exciting episode of Tradies in Business, and it's like, here's us talking gibberish again.
Well, I was just going to tell you, reveal how you can win a fight against The Rock.
Oh.
Paper.
Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
You almost sucked me in there, Coxie.
It was a good one, I thought.
Your delivery was pretty good.
Thanks.
We could get you on We Got the Chocolates.
Well, I feel like we did reach out to them and challenge them to a duel and fell upon deaf ears.
Maybe they're doing the no reply challenge instead of the no laugh challenge.
Maybe they are. They're doing a stellar job if that's the case. And maybe, just maybe, if I take some ownership here, I think I sent the message and I never did. I'll have to check it out now.
So today's episode is not about laying blame on others and why that's suboptimal for you in life, listeners.
Except if you're a shock jock, and then I'll happily lay blame at your feet.
We're going to talk about times and changing times. Is it the Rolling Stones that's saying that?
I don't actually know, and I'm really glad you didn't sing it. I'm glad that because most of our listeners are younger than us, and they would be sitting there scratching their heads thinking, what the hell are these two on about now?
And my singing is not quite as good as your jokes.
Well, I think they're pretty well on a par, if I'm honest.
But times, they really are a-changing.
It's feeling a little prickly, isn't it?
It's easy to jump into the fear river with the media, and I probably tend to swing the other way, Coxie, where I just write off anything in the media, particularly mainstream media, because I don't want the toxicity to get into my head, first and foremost, and I don't want to get distracted from my game. And I don't want to feel like everything's doom and gloom all the time. I do a good enough job of that myself in my own life sometimes. So I tend to just ignore it. I still stay abreast of loosely what's going on. It's pretty hard to not know what's going on when spending time on social media, which we obviously do for Tradies in Business and for the podcast and as part of working with our tradiepreneurs. But I wonder if there's a way to find a middle path with it all, Coxie.
It's a good question. I don't actually know that many of our listeners have time to listen to what's going on out there in the world. They're so busy. They're so overwhelmed still that perhaps they're not thinking too much outside of their own little environment just at the minute. And yeah, that's where some of the potential, I don't want to use the word danger, but I can't think of another one, where the danger may lay without, I guess, just being aware and understanding what's happening out there at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, Coxie. I think it's about understanding and being informed without being alarmed.
Yes.
And I believe that's very difficult to do if you're getting your information from mainstream media, because there is so much there's so many other agendas and other interests involved in media these days. Journalism has changed a lot.
Yes.
And it's hard to tell who's behind it and if there is agendas behind news stories that get run. And this is not going to be a tinfoil hat wearing deep dive
I'm getting
into
a little concerned.
Conspiracy theories and who owns everything and all that stuff. But what it is about is, well, it's worth actually being informed about what might be coming around the corner. It's part of planning. It's about looking ahead. scanning the horizon and going, okay, well, what might be happening? What are some of the possibilities? And then what can we do now so that we're prepared for what may eventuate without spiraling off into, oh my gosh, the sky's falling, we need to plan for that. But just still being wise about not just recklessly going, well, everything's great. We're busy. There's heaps of work on. So that's it. End of story. Because we see, even now, Coxie, we're seeing some businesses that have perhaps gotten a little comfortable with how things have been, aren't prepared for change, and those changes then are having a potential negative impact on their businesses.
Yeah, perhaps we should just call it for what it is. The change that's currently happening is our interest rates are rising and our economy is stirring. I'm not going to be dramatic because I don't think it's dramatic yet.
The water's cloudy.
Yeah, I sit in a position of privilege knowing this was likely to happen. So I've made some good plans with that in mind. So I understand that for some people that feels really uncomfortable, and for others it's going to feel extremely uncomfortable very quickly. And what that means for you, whether you're busy right now or not, is that there are some changes on the horizon. We need to be aware of what those changes might be and start to put some plans in place for our business around how we're going to, once again, make some change. We should all be pretty good with change, actually. Make some change to put our businesses and ourselves and our families in the best position we can. Because, quite frankly, businesses that plan well actually flourish throughout more challenging times. We saw that for many of our trade business owners through COVID, even the ones that weren't able to work. We saw some stellar results from people that were business owners that were able to, pivot. We might have to use that word again during the lockdowns and the time where they weren't allowed on site to keep that work rolling in. So there was a lot of work when they were able to get back to site, or they were able to work creatively so they could continue to work in one form or another. Well, we want you to think a little bit like that now. Let's have a look at what is potentially happening. Let's listen to some trusted experts. I've had a few chats with my accountant, my financial advisor, my insurance providers. I've spoken to quite a few people in the last week or two to really put some concrete plans in place for myself and my family. And perhaps it's time for you to start doing the same, because the sooner we prepare, the easier some of those potholes are to glide over or get around rather than falling straight into them. We're actually going to help you as trusted advisors. I'm going to call us trusted advisors in our world tour. We're actually going to give you a whole bunch of information there that will help you ride out some of the potential storm that may be coming. Again, I don't want to stray into doom and gloom.
We're not using alarmist language here, but you should be really scared.
No, you shouldn't.
No. Especially not if you come and catch us on our Australian world tour, as Coxie said. The title of that, which we put together, I guess, quite some time ago now, is Transform Your Trade Business. And I think it actually still applies, Coxie, because one of the things that happens with many businesses is they become a bit stale. Yes. And we just keep doing things the way we do them. And we assume unconsciously most of the time that things will kind of stay the same. It's largely human nature to slip into this headspace that, well, this is how things are. Mm-hmm. And I know I've lost a lot of money and other things throughout my life because I made assumptions, not knowingly and not,
consciously.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
struggling with my words this morning.
I have days like
me. Yeah, I didn't sit down and go, okay, well, these are the assumptions I'm making. They just got made along the way, unconsciously. Thank you, Coxie. Wow. Thanks for letting me be your co-host. So they've cost me a lot over the years, and it's easy to look back and go, man, I just really assumed that things would always be that way. I assumed that the economy would be like that, or that my partner would think that way, or whatever it might be. And so it's worth, as a business owner, testing your current model in a bit of a what if. Well, what if interest rates went to 8% again? What if the building and construction industry slowed seriously. What if? And as I said earlier in this episode, there is a risk of spiraling off into Chicken Little and the sky is falling, and just running around all the time going, yeah, but what if, and actually getting consumed by that. So that's not what we're suggesting at all. It's just a bit of wise mind, critical thinking of saying, okay, well, let's do a bit of stress testing on our current business model, on our current household spending. Can we sustain this if the market does slow? And just actually having a bit of an intellectual conversation with yourself or with your peers or your mentors, or if you're working with us, obviously that's an easy one to have because we make you do it. And just having a bit of an eye on the horizon, I guess, to come back to that analogy again, so that you're not just blindly going along, everything's cool until it's not.
I think it's about controlling the controllable, but sometimes you need to become aware of what the controllable is. And it's far more than you probably realize until somebody points it out, which is a big part of our Transform Your Trade Business workshop. We're going to show you what you can control and how to control it. And a lot of that is around the financial. We need to be controlling our finances right now. We've got a whole bunch of tools that are going to help you do that, most of which are free. We'll give you even web addresses to go and download them, or join a particular group or thing where you can get that download. But there is an opportunity for you to start really thinking about where your finances are at. Uncomfortable now, but it could potentially be even more uncomfortable if we leave it for another 6 months. So starting to get a really good view on what that looks like right now, making some changes now while the power's still in our hands. And it very much is. As a trade business owner at the moment, you are very much still in control. And then making some plans off the back of that. And I think a big part of that too, you referenced not spiraling. Sometimes that comes back to those communities that we place ourselves in. And we have a great one here at Tradies in Business on Facebook, of all places. Our Profitable Tradies, is it Less Tools, More Lifestyle?
Lifestyle.
Something like that. Our Facebook group, if you just Google Tradies in Business on Facebook, you'll find us anyway in the group section there. But we have a great community who are talking about some of these things right now. We're talking about, okay, what can we do to reduce some of that financial pressure that may come in the next 6 months or so? What does that financial pressure potentially look like for our businesses? What can we do to make some changes now? What can we be doing with our team in HR? What can we be doing with our sales processes? What about our marketing? And how about our headspace, most importantly of all? And all of this we're actually going to cover with you on our world tour.
Essentially, you're going to get almost 3 hours of business training for free.
Totally free.
And a lot of this is the content. It's new content. We haven't presented this workshop or this training before, so we're pretty excited to roll this out around the country. But a lot of these tips and tools are drawn from the work that we do with our tradiepreneurs, our paying clients. So we're going to be giving you some insights, a bit of a sneak peek into some of those things, and basically give you the opportunity to turn your trade business into something that's going to have some more resilience, so that if it does get a bit stormy, then you've just tightened up the ship a bit, sheeted in the sails, and you got the life jacket on, or maybe just nearby. You don't have to put it on yet. The life jackets are, where they are. It's the pre-flight checks on the plane. You know where everything is, and of course everyone pays attention to that, don't they, Coxie?
I don't know. I'll tell you on Tuesday when we get on the plane again. It's been a while.
But it's easy to get complacent, and I think I love my analogies, Coxie. We jump on planes and we don't pay any attention to the safety briefing. We're already picking the thing we're going to have from the menu, or we've got our headphones on and tuning everybody out. And then if something happens, it's like, damn, I wish I'd paid more attention to where the slide was, or which exit, or how to find it. Or do I put the oxygen mask on me or my kid first? Or do I strangle the guy next to me with the cord? He snored the whole flight. So this is a bit of that. There's an opportunity to actually do a few simple things, educate yourself, inform yourself, perhaps get some things in place in your business so that if something does go wrong, you're much more prepared than before. And it's not scary. It doesn't have to be this big panic thing. There is time to do it now, but most people leave these things till it's actually too late to do anything proactive. And it's like you said, Coxie, control the controllable.
It's also best practice. That's why our tradiepreneurs are already doing this stuff on a regular basis. It's best practice for your business. So it's not, again, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just making you aware of some of those things you might not have come across yet, so that you can put them into your business as best practice. You can make those changes now. And the added benefit is timing, which we didn't foresee, of course. However, it's worked out really nicely for you in your businesses to be able to take that information on board and make some changes now so that you can foresee any change that might be coming and make some decisions about that before you feel panicky, before you feel stressed, before you feel that pressure. Because that really changes the quality of the decisions you make. When we make reactive decisions, they tend to be not always the best ones for the longevity or future of our business. They tend to be what moves the pain on as quickly as possible right now. And if we can make those now while we're not in pain, while we're not in discomfort, or at least put some strategies in place that we can choose from when that time comes, we have a far better quality outcome for our business, for ourselves, and for our families. So now's the time, peeps. We're touring. We actually, if you're listening today, we're in Adelaide today. You should find us and say hello. Maybe we could give away a voucher for if you spotto Warwick and Nicole walking around your city during the world tour and grab a selfie with us. You can go on the draw to win a one-on-one coaching session with Warwick and Nicole. There you go. I said it. We'll give you a coaching session, but you got to find us. We're not hard to find. Some of us are easier than others. Warwick could hide behind a telephone pole. I could not. Maybe the back of a bus, but you'll find us. Dragging suitcases around and dead bodies and bags. And we'll be in Adelaide today when you're listening. And we'll be in Melbourne on Thursday. So a couple of days in Adelaide, a couple of days in Melbourne this week. When you're listening this week, we're here. See if you can find us and come and say good day. Attend the training. Not only do you get all of this information, you go in the draw to win a $3,000 lucky draw prize, which is dreadfully exciting. I love giving away stuff. Really want my Oprah moment so I can point to everyone. You get a prize. You get a prize. But everybody who attends will also receive $1,000. Actually, it's a little over $1,000 worth of assets that we're passing on to you. So some of those are downloads, some are masterclasses, some are physical books that you can read. We've got a whole bunch of interesting stuff there for you just for attending. So we really want you to take the information we give you and make some change. And we've put it as much of that as we can into a resource pack for you to take away with you after the day as well.
So there you go. Even if the storm doesn't come, a lot of these things are actually going to make you more money and save you more time, regardless of what happens with the economic climate. So you'll be prepared, and if the sky doesn't fall, then you can actually do better from your business as well. So it's kind of a double whammy. Head over to, if you do want to check out more information about the World Tour, it's pretty much everywhere on our socials at the moment. We're spamming the crap out of Facebook and Instagram and everybody else. But if you want to go straight to the site to find out some more info, go to www.tradiesinbusiness.com.au/live. So just go to our website, or if you just find Tradies in Business on Google, there's a pop-up on the website. If you wait, I don't know, 3.5 seconds or something, the annoying pop-up will come up on the homepage, and you can just click through to that and get some more info on it and grab your free ticks. You have to book a ticket if you want to go in the draw for the $3,000 lucky door prize, which includes a free website, one in every city. There's I've forgotten actually, financial stuff, benchmarking, I think, something to do with comparing yourself to others and seeing if your ruler's longer than their ruler. But anyway, you got to register your tickets, so make sure you go to the website and do that. And come get a selfie with us in front of our sexy photo wall.
I forgot about the photo wall.
It's enormous. Just come to see the photo wall. It's huge. Makes me look like an ant.
I'm really excited to meet lots of you. And I have another challenge for you. I'd love you to tell me if you know who Henny Penny is. I feel like our listeners will not know who Henny Penny is. I do, but I'd like to know if you do.
All right. Thanks for listening, gang. We'll see you in Adelaide and Melbourne this week.
Woohoo!
Hooroo.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.